My name is Suzanne Stanits, and I'm a board member with Pillars of Honor. And it's my honor to thank all of you for coming today. In October 1943, almost exactly 68 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, this young man was working in his family grocery store. It was in Maywood, Illinois, and he got his draft notice. He left home on D-Day, departed for Europe from Boston. While in the infantry, he served his country in France, England, and Germany. Most notably, he fought for us in the Battle of the Bulge. In his words, he did what he needed to do, and he weathered the storm. And I think those are quotes that so many of you have probably made or thought in your own minds. He returned to the United States in March 1946. There was no parade, no confetti, no crowds, no one to welcome him, but waiting for him was his mother and dad and his loving family. He waited a number of years to get married. He says he got the best of the lot. His beloved wife, Mary, has since passed away. This humble soldier is an Army Sergeant James Apostolopoulos, and he is with us today. While Sergeant Apostolopoulos, I knew I would say it wrong, even though I practiced and practiced, Apostolopoulos was making his way to Europe, another young man who coincidentally had a family who also owned grocery stores in the Chicago area, left his family and made his way to the West Coast. He departed the United States from California, and he served his country in the Pacific, repairing big guns. He still remembers guns going off all night, and maybe some of you remember that also. His service to our country took him to the Philippines, Manila, and Australia, where he met his bride-to-be, Maggie. This young Army corporal returned home on New Year's Eve, 1945, and Maggie was waiting for him. His name is Donald Mergler. Don went on to become a Chicago firefighter, and he too is with us today. Pillars of Honor was organized after a small group of Chicago area people realized how very many of our World War II veterans are unable to take that long trip to Washington, D.C. to enjoy their World War II model. It seems like a long way out there to Washington, D.C. We are getting frail, and our health is not what it was. When the memorial was built, finally, almost 60 years after the war you so valiantly fought was over. We humbly welcome each of you today, all 45 World War II veterans. You fought in major battles. You were in the Pacific Theater, like Donald. You were in the European theater, like James. You served in the United States. You flew bombers. You sailed in battleships. You walked in freezing cold and brutal heat. You cooked, you typed, you filed. You repaired vehicles. You drove vehicles. You repaired equipment. You made strategic decisions. You did what you needed to do and what you were asked to do. You literally went all over the world to fight for the freedom we, your children, your grandchildren, your friends and neighbors enjoy today. For whatever you did, it's our turn to thank you. The Board of Directors and volunteers of Pillars of Honor would like to thank all of you for coming out on this rainy day, for giving up your Sunday afternoon to join us in honoring each one of these, our 45 World War II veterans.